All right, so there's guys out there who will say whatever to please others. They have a lot of anxiety, shame, and guilt around their true self, their inner self. And out in public, they're all smiles, but when they're in private, the fact that they're unable to express what's truly going on in here eats at them alive every single day. Whereas there's other guys out there who express themselves fully, warts and all. Doesn't mean that people always like it, but they're okay with the outcome, whether people like it or not. They're okay with it, and these guys lead a lot healthier life. I'm gonna talk about what I think is the difference here, how we can be in the latter group, and why you feel like you have no personality. Because I've definitely struggled with this. Without further ado, let's dive into it. I remember clearly being back in college, though I've struggled with this throughout like high school and probably elementary school. I was in the library. So I'm over here, my friend is over here, and we're talking, right? And as we're having this conversation, there's thoughts coming up in my mind. I should say this, right? I want to say this, or I want to say this. And there was just this blockage where I couldn't get what I was feeling in here, what I wanted to say. I just couldn't get it out. Because as soon as I think I should say this, thoughts would start rolling with my mind. Oh, should I say this? Or are people going to like it? Or how is this going to go over? And within this kind of whole conflict within myself, what would ultimately end up happening is I wouldn't end up saying anything. And I'd just be like all smiling like the super nice guy and not saying anything polarizing, not expressing the thoughts truly going on in here. Every single day of my life at that point was an extremely anxious experience where I was putting on mask on mask on mask on mask, and there were all these barriers in front of my true self, in front of what I really wanted to say or what I really wanted to express, right? And the reason I hesitated to say what's on my mind is because I wanted to be liked so bad. It's because I wanted approval, right? So again, out in public, I'd be just all smiles, right? And because I was like such a super nice guy, people would call me soft, right? And inside, I knew I wasn't some soft guy, right? But again, there was just these barriers that I was unable to overcome. So when people call me soft, that would just eat at me even more, right? And another thing that I would do at this point is I would start copying other guys, like other famous YouTubers or other, superstars. So I'd look at like, say, Conor McGregor. I'd be like, oh, everyone likes him. Everyone likes his mannerisms. So I'd like adopt those into my own lifestyles, try to be like Conor McGregor when I'm talking or something like that, right? Look, all of this is leading me to the first point that I'm trying to make here, which is you have a personality. I promise you, guarantee you, you have a personality. You're just hiding it, right? And part of the problem here is people who say, oh, being yourself is cap, bro. Being yourself doesn't get you results, bro. Being yourself gets you no results in dating, social. Take that thought, throw it out the window, right? This is like this train of thought that's perpetuated in self-improvement forums or all these other forums. And these people are giving you a train of thought which I ultimately believe will not serve you, right? And the reason being yourself is seen as cap is because the metrics with which success is defined are absolutely fucked. There's no other way to say it. Because what are the metrics by which success are defined? Oh, how many dates did you go on? Oh, how many girls did you end up actually getting into a relationship with? Or, how big is your social circle? How many cool guys, how many high value men are in your social circle? All this stuff, right? Look, I'm going to give you two scenarios. And you tell me honestly, in which scenario do you truly feel you would feel happy and you would feel like success has been achieved, right? It would be scenario number one where you're rolling up to, let's say, a date, and you go to a date and you're doing all this fake alpha body language stuff, leaning back and talking to the girl like, yeah, I just fought five guys as I came to this date. And also, I'm talking to like 10 other girls who I'm seeing. I'm in an open relationship with. Also, I make 50 million a year. Or would it be going up to the girl and just expressing what's truly in here? For me, it's like I struggle a lot with anxiety. So I'll just say like, hey, I'm feeling really anxious right now, for example. And a lot of guys would consider that soft. It's like, oh, that's not going to get you the relationship, or that's not going to get you whatever. But like, who cares, right? Who cares? Which relationship? Let's assume the first scenario gets you more relationships. Are you going to be happy in that relationship? Are you going to be happy constantly putting on mask on mask on mask on mask? Is that how you want to define success? Or do you want to define success by expressing yourself? And that's where your personality is going to come out as well. That is your personality. You're just, again, hiding in layer and layer and layer and layer of how you feel you should act. Do you understand? Right? Wouldn't you be a lot happier if, let's say, you go on 5 dates, and if you pretended to be someone you're not, 5 out of 5, you'd like get laid or whatever you want to say. Like, great, fine. Are you going to be happier with that? Or are you going to be happier with you go on 5 dates, 4 of them don't want you when you express your true self, but one of them is absolutely in love with your true self? Maybe they struggle with similar things and you guys can relate on that and have genuine conversations around that, and you don't feel the need to put on 20 masks every time you go on a date. Which one defines success better for you? Which one would make you happier? It's an easy choice for me, and I hope it's an easy choice for you too. Now, another point I want to make here is the people who just overcomplicate these things. Like, oh, you want to be yourself, bro? You want to socialize, bro? Okay, no, we gotta make eye contact for 8 seconds exactly. Then you gotta make your back straight. Then you gotta make sure that your hair is a certain way. Then you gotta make sure you're talking really loudly. And it's like, oh, take that thought, throw it out the window as well, bro. We don't listen to those people, right? Let's stop overcomplicating these things. Again, I'll give the example of a dating life because I know a lot of guys just get into self-improvement for improving their day. That was definitely my motivation. So I know that's what motivates a lot of guys to even get into self-improvement. So let's take the example of dating life, right? There's a lot of guys, and I'm sure you know them, who succeed in their dating life, and they're like the exact opposite of how all these self-improvement subs tell you to act, right? They're like, they may make less eye contact. They may be a little bit on, the less alpha side, so to speak, yet they have immense success, right? So stop overcomplicating these things. You can go out on a date and have like the perfect body language and look straight and hold eye contact for 10 seconds, or you can stop overcomplicating this thing and focus on the macro, which is go out, put yourselves in a situation where you can actually meet people, express yourself, find the people who like you as well, and move forward, right? If you're not, the macro here is actually putting yourself out there. If you're not doing that, I don't care how good your body language, whatever, all this is, you're not getting anywhere. You're not getting anywhere. Okay? Focus on the macro. Don't overcomplicate these things. Right? Both these groups of people, they're putting these unrealistic standards on us to overcomplicate something that does not need to be overcomplicated. Right? So again, I'll just summarize that down one more time. The reason, at least I believe, or the reason I struggled with having no personality was because of all these masks. And just ultimately accept yourself and let these masks go. It does not mean that every single time you express yourself, people will like fall in love with you. This isn't like some technique to make everyone like you. But this is a way to make you happier with yourself. We're redefining success here. We're not defining success as, oh, I got these many numbers, I got these many relationships. We're defining success as how comfortable am I expressing my true self, Anyway, I want to end this video off by saying, hey, be kind to yourself throughout this process. This is not an easy journey, not one bit, right? Throughout most of my self-improvement journey, like up until like a few months ago, I was hiding who I was, right? And I would, for example, let me just run through a scenario. I was on a date a few months ago. And again, I told you earlier, I struggle with anxiety. My anxiety that day was so bad that I was literally shaking. Like I couldn't get my leg to stop shaking, right? And on the date, I would just pretend, oh, it's nothing. I'm just cold, haha, right? Where I could have just been honest and said, yeah, I struggle with anxiety and my anxiety is kind of high right now. Maybe that wouldn't have led to like, oh, it didn't lead to a relationship, didn't lead to typical self-improvement success, but it would have led to a true self-expression. And another thing it could have led to is maybe that girl really related to it. And that would have helped us connect on a deeper level. And also would have allowed me to take off this mask that I was putting on, which is a beautiful thing. And look, I get that it's hard. Truly, I do. Like, again, for most of my life, I've neglected this, right? Like even right now, I have a fight today actually. Well, we're wearing headgear and stuff, so not a real fight. But I have a boxing fight today, and boxing and combat sports is something I wanted to do for a long time, but I neglected it because I wanted to be seen as like, again, like the super badass person, and like being in a boxing fight where people are watching you, where you potentially get hit and fall on your ass. Well, that's not really badass, is it? Right? But now I'm here, I'm expressing my true self. I'm ready to get into that ring, and whatever happens, happens. I don't feel the need to put on this mask of, oh, you know, I'm the super badass person who never gets hit, whatever, right? I'm okay with putting myself out there. And again, if I fall on my butt, I fall on my butt. Whatever happens, happens, right? So truly, be kind to yourself throughout this process. I understand how hard this is, but this is ultimately at least what I've found that's led me to more happiness in my life. All right, now I want you to imagine for a second. Imagine you take this advice, you run with it, and your dating life is going up because you're actually connecting with people who like the genuine you, the true you, right? Imagine your confidence is going up by the day because now you can pursue these activities like boxing that you always wanted to do. You can pursue other activities because you don't put this pressure on yourself to like, oh, I got to hold up a certain image. Like you're able to put yourself out there. You're able to relax and do all these things in life you always wanted to do because you're not striving for some ridiculous level of perfection. Imagine that as you do that, you're achieving your goals day by day. Maybe it was boxing, maybe it was YouTube, maybe you wanted to start a YouTube channel like this. And you say, whatever, I'm not going to be perfect in front of the camera, I'm going to do it. And YouTube channel blows up. Or it's with boxing, you do boxing and you know, you're now a great fighter, a year, 2 years in, something you wanted your whole life, but just were unable to get over that hurdle. But now you've gotten over that hurdle and you've accomplished that goal, whatever it may be. Imagine that. And that's the path you're on, all right? Keep working hard. I know you can do it, but what I believe doesn't matter. Frankly, what you believe matters. So I hope you believe in yourself too. And that's all I got for this video. Hey, thank you so much for watching. I'll leave my Instagram, TikTok somewhere over here. Please do support there as well. Ultimately, I want this to be our positive little community where we help each other, support each other, and help each other get to that next level in life. So please do come join the community. Please do like, comment, subscribe. I'll talk to you later. Peace.